2 years ago, I committed a terrible act. It was not intentional, but it happened, and I have had to live with it. The event took place one evening when I was walking on my property. I own about a dozen acres of land, and I've always loved to take strolls out there as the sun sets. Those who live in the country know that you can't really leave your house for a hike without taking a weapon. There are snakes, wild boars, mountain lions, even bears, all sorts of creatures who, if you happen to startle, might panic and attack you. So that evening, like so many others, I had my shotgun in my right hand, held loosely by the receiver. He seemed to appear out of nowhere. It occurs to me now that he was probably a vagrant looking for a place to sleep, and hadn't seen my house off in the distance. He was clearly homeless, bearing a scraggly beard and wearing a stained olive-drab coat. I just about tripped over him as he lay there on the ground just beyond the rise of a small hill. We noticed each other at the same time. It was too late by that point. Startled very badly, I flipped my shotgun up and racked around. He jumped to his feet, beginning to throw his hands up, and I guess my mind took that as hostility. I pulled the trigger without another thought. The round took the man in the gut, and he cried out, blood flying from his mouth as he reeled back, tripping on a small bush. Hitting the ground hard, I can still remember his ragged gasps for air. I was frozen there, the gun already on the ground after falling from my hands. The man died there in front of me. Although the rest of that night is something of a blur for me, I remember sitting there, agonizing over what to do. Finally, I went back to the house, grabbed a shovel, and set about burying the man right there where he died. I've done everything I can to put that night out of my mind. It was a terrible mistake, and though it eats at me, it's not the guilt which has kept those events firmly in my thoughts. I can't forget, because every day that passes, I look out of my kitchen window at that small hill in the distance. I look at the spot where I took his life, and I can see him. He stands there, staring back at me, his figure clearly standing out as the long shadows take over the land and the sky reddens. Every night, the man gets one step closer to me. What started out as a small figure in the distance is now a clearly discernible and terrible corpse. His green jacket is now stained a dark red, and he's gotten close enough for me to see his eyes. They're so black.